All the times you thought you'd never make it through. Felt just like the world just turned its back on you. Didn't stop you.
Sidelines do not concern me. Desire lives inside me.
The journey.
From the desert to the big city lights, determined giants seeking new heights. Together, all feeling the hype. Deny gravity, deny weight, as your history writes.
It's the fire that they can't put out inside. It's a hell of a ride.
Nothing will deter me.
Are you crying, Christine?
Yeah.
Are you crying?
I am. Welcome to Hoop Streams. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the ESPN app. I am not crying. I'm Christine Williamson.
Yep, that's right.
You're Gary Striewski.
I am Gary Striewski. The playoffs start today.
Do they?
You have to dress the part.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Is that why you're dressed like that, G-Money?
Yeah, and maybe I was doing this little program you might have heard of called SportsCenter.
I did it right
like
before
10 minutes ago. We did, yeah, we did.
So I was able to change.
We're just double dipping.
Yeah,
today,
exactly.
For sure. You know who else was on SportsCenter?
Who?
Wendy.
Oh my gosh, was it Brian Windhorst? He's also here with us. Look at how that works.
I had little goosebumpies watching that.
Did you cry though? That's the real question.
Yeah.
No tears. No, I cried watching Love is Blind, but not this.
The finale?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm
Okay.
a couple episodes behind. Just
Okay.
hold your spoilers. Hold them.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched it
can't
today,
get
or I
Christine
haven't watched it
started
yet.
on that.
I'm going to watch it today, and I'm very excited about this because I will talk about it for hours. So let's not spoil anything for anybody. We are excited about the playoffs. I want to read this line that said, I don't know who wrote this. It says, "It's round one of the playoffs. Let's effing go!" Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. It's in my script, so that's why we're doing it. All right, obviously we're very excited about the playoffs starting today. We're gonna play a little game called Something to Prove or Everything to Lose. And we start with Anthony Davis. We saw how dominant LeBron's running mate can be during the Lakers' bubble title run. He had 25 points per game, 10 rebounds per game versus the Heat. And even in high stakes games like the T-Wolves Tuesday night, AD is healthy, and the Lakers made their way into the postseason by the hair of their chinny chin chin. So I'm going to start with you, Wendy, on this one. Does AD have something to lose, or does he have everything to prove?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have anything to lose. He's already a champion. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he has to listen to everybody get on him about not being consistent. He's got to listen to people talk about how the bubble title has some sort of asterisk, which I do not believe. But I think that he sees and the Lakers see that they have opportunity here. Not saying that they should win it, but they have opportunity. And if they're able to win this series, even though it's not a title, it at least sends a message that, and because they're not going to win it unless AD is great. And if AD is great and wins it, it at least establishes his dominance and really can kind of quiet the haters no matter how this season ends for them.
Before you go, G-Money, I just want to be clear. It is all actually something to prove or everything to lose. I might mess it up a few more times, but G-Money, go ahead, please. Thank you.
So based off of that revelation, I think he has something to prove. And Wendy kind of stole the words right out of my mouth, even though there's no pictures in the box score, right? And when you reference that 2020 NBA title, even in conversation, people will say, but the controlled environment of the bubble. So while not an asterisk, literally, it still comes up in conversation, and I think there is something to prove because there is so much emphasis on AD, and the reason he went to LA is to win not just a championship, but multiple championships, and they had to fight their way just to get into the playoffs, and AD now is going into this first-round series with momentum, which is what we haven't seen from him solely and specifically, which is why I think he has absolutely something to prove.
Okay, let's go to an entire team here. The Warriors, obviously they're defending champs, and they had an abysmal 11-30 road record. Some people thought this was the year the Warriors dynasty would end. Well, they were wrong because the defending champs are back in the playoffs, holding down the 6th seed, and a date with the inexperienced yet still dangerous Kings. I'm going to start with you on this one, G-Money. Do the Warriors have something to prove or everything to lose?
I literally just switched my answer 2 seconds ago, and I think they have everything to lose, because when I'm looking at the makeup of this Western Conference, and specifically the Sacramento Kings team, who they are playing, you're talking about like the future and the up-and-comers and the young teams now, right? Steph and Clay and Draymond are all on the other side of 30, and I know they want to say, hey, there's no rivalry between
I do that a lot.
between some of these teams until you win a championship. Well, if the Warriors aren't winning those championships, even though they just came off of one,
right,
they do have everything to lose, which is the crown. Mute.
Yeah, I agree with you, but for a different reason. I think they obviously don't have anything to prove because they're four-time champs.
Right.
But if they don't win the title this year, I don't think they're coming back like this.
Yep.
I don't know about Draymond coming back. I don't know about Bob Myers coming back. I don't know what other changes could happen because they spent a ton of money on this team. A stat that I came across this week that is incredible is that the Warriors spent $8 million per win this year and the Kings spent $2.8 million. And if the Kings beat you in the playoffs, you can't bring that back. And so what they've got to lose is this group. This group
Right.
won't be the same. And it's been incredible they've been together. So if they lose it, they don't get to keep it going. And trust me, even though they've got some battle scars, there's a lot of camaraderie that they don't want to end there in Golden State.
All right, let's talk about a guy that used to be a part of that group that they don't want to tear apart on the Warriors end, and that is Kevin Durant. He got what he wished for, a one-way ticket out of Brooklyn that found him in the Valley of the Sun following a stunning exit to the Mavs last year in the Western Conference semis. Phoenix is equipped and ready for a deep run with its core of KD, Book, and CP3 and AN. With the way KD's exit went down this year and given the prime opportunity he now has, I'm going to start with you on this one, Wendy. Does Durant have something to prove or everything to lose?
Yeah, I don't think he has to lose anything. I also am a strong believer that he doesn't have to prove anything, but I know that I am in the minority there. And maybe even Kevin doesn't believe that. So I guess I'll say something to prove. Although I want to be clear, I don't think this is title or bust for this team. I think this team has a window. They do have some challenges in team building with what they traded and the new rules that are coming in. They do have, we don't know what's left with Chris Paul. Like that exists. But I don't think if oh my gosh, they don't win it this year, this is a failure. Just because he and Kyrie got traded in the same week doesn't mean their situations were the same. He's got years on his contract. Booker's got years on his contract. I think that they're going to be able to draw, role players to play them. He's got to prove it, but I'm not stressing.
He's on a Suns team that anytime he suits up with those Suns and those running mates, they are undefeated. So obviously, it doesn't take an expert eye to say, okay, the Suns then should be the favorite. With that being said, I think Kevin Durant has everything to lose, nothing to prove. I mean, he doesn't care about proving anybody. He's got his rings. He obviously went to Golden State and got the rings. However, he also forced his way out of Brooklyn. He gets the trade to join a couple other superstars who are already built and already primed for another title run. So I'm saying he has everything to lose because if the Suns don't win a title, then all of a sudden the conversation might circle around Kevin Durant. Yes, individual best scorer of all time, one of the smoothest shooters, and he can get to the rim and create a shot. However, the championship was elusive without Steph and without Clay. So I think he does have everything to lose in that regard if he doesn't get it done.
I wish we could have a CP3 conversation regarding that specific subject, something to prove or everything to lose.
Something
but
to
we
prove
don't have
for
enough
CP
time.
for sure.
I know,
you gotta get a ring, man.
I feel like that might be a little bit of a more of a better conversation. But let's go on to the Nuggets. Year in and year out, the Nuggets are always in the mix, led by the reigning back-to-back MVP Nikola Jokic. He can stuff regular season stat sheets and hoard awards, but at some point, critics are going to demand that he has a postseason success to elevate his status as an all-time great. And he's not alone. You have Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, MPJ, who are legitimate pieces around him. I'm going to start with you on this one, G-Money, because I know you're a Denver guy. What do you think?
Something to prove. Everything to prove for the Joker. You can't be a back-to-back MVP, and I know it's a regular season award, but you can't be a back-to-back MVP, maybe knocking on the door of the first 3-time MVP in a row since Larry Bird back in the 80s, and not bring your franchise to a NBA Finals. Matter of fact, the Joker has only taken the Nuggets to 1 conference finals, and that was against the Lakers in the bubble. Yes, the Joker has absolutely something to prove. He can't keep getting put in the MVP conversation without delivering the goods.
Yeah, he kind of had excuses last year because Murray was hurt, Porter was out almost the whole season, and they came in as the 6th seed. So when he took an early exit last year, I was like, well, he got them there. That was their run. But that's not true now. They're a very deep team. They've gone out and got into the luxury tax, got some role players on this team, signed these guys to extensions. Number 1 seed in the West, the first time in the history of the team they've been the number 1 seed in the West. Second best home record in the league. They probably would have the best home record, but they rested for some games at the end. The table is set. Like, if they don't win it this year, if they don't reach the finals this year, it's because of them. And so that's definitely something to prove. That's the definition of something to prove for Jokic and the Nuggets.
If the Nuggets happen to have a playoff exit, do we feel like the Nuggets will ever be able to be a title contender?
My question is, does ownership keep spending? Because this is not an ownership group that likes to spend the tax. And if they do keep spending, in other words, they keep this core together, do they look for other changes? And so that's, somebody, if they have a disappointment this year, someone is going to pay somewhere, I promise you.
Yeah, I think the window hasn't closed on the Nuggets. Their core guys are on the right side of 30 with the Joker, with Jamal. I think Aaron Gordon recently signed an extension, and the depth that they have. So I don't think it is as dire as, maybe Chris Paul needing to get that ring, or even Kevin Durant needing to get that ring sooner rather than later. So, yeah, I think the Nuggets still have a lot of room left.
G-Money, what do you think their ceiling is for the playoffs this season?
The Nuggets?
Yeah.
NBA Finals.
Okay.
I mean, I think the NBA Finals is going to be the Bucks and the Nuggets.
You agree with that, correct?
Yeah, although I think they're an underdog to get out of the West if everybody stays healthy. But for them, they've got to believe they can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go to the Eastern Conference. Last but not least, the dynamic duo in Boston, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. JT and JB led the C's all the way to a Game 6 of the NBA Finals, but were derailed by the well-oiled machine that is the Golden State Warriors. However, Tatum's 13-point and 6-18 performance in that final game on his home floor left us questioning his ability to come up big. So, for this one, Winnie, I'm going to start with you. Do Tatum and Brown have something to prove following last year's finals exit, or everything to lose?
It's definitely something to prove because they didn't put their best foot forward in that finals, especially Jayson Tatum. Look, they're up 2-1. They're up 2-1 with home court in the finals. I know they're playing a great team. That's something that haunts you. And so not only that, they have to prove it to themselves, but I don't know what about this team next year. Jaylen Brown has a contract extension. If he's ready to sign it, he'll stay a Celtic. If he's not ready to sign it, they could have to be forced to explore other options. So, and a large part of that's probably going to come down to how they play together in the postseason, because Jaylen Brown would have huge value out on the market if that's the way it happens. So, look, I'm a big believer in these two. I thought they were good enough to win it last year. They're flawed. They were flawed last year. They've addressed some of that. They got to stay healthy, of course. But, I mean, they got to prove that they're going to take their places among the great Celtics of all time. And I think they've got the ability to do that.
The highest scoring duo in the NBA this regular season. And Windy, man, this guy is a professional because he led me straight to the next point, which is why I say they actually have everything to lose. And that everything is Jaylen Brown. He's a free agent next year. There's already been some of those sound bites and quotes from Jaylen Brown in the media, not necessarily indicting fractures, but throwing it out there. Hey, I want to be where somebody wants me to be. I'll sign whoever wants me wholeheartedly. So he's throwing those things out there right now. So if the Celtics can't get it done and keep Jaylen Brown happy by raising banner 18, I think there's a real shot. Jaylen Brown says, you know what? I'll go do my own thing when I become an unrestricted free agent.
All right, we'll see if they're able to get it done this season. Now it's time to play a little game that I feel like Gary's probably played a lot.
Spin the
It's
bottle?
called Would You Rather.
Oh.
What? It's called Would You Rather, which is, I guess, similar.
Oh, really?
Brian just goes, all right. Okay, so we're going to play a little game of Would You Rather. I'm going to give you guys 2 scenarios, and
Okay.
you guys tell me which one you would rather, starting
that's good.
with LeBron and Steph. So would you rather see LeBron win ring number 5 or Steph Curry win ring number 5? Wendy, let's start with you on this one.
Man, I mean, probably LeBron just because, you know, it's just this season. He sets the record. It would sort of establish him in LA a little bit, but I kind of want new blood, so I'm not really like rooting for either of them. But I guess if you said which is which, I guess I'd take LeBron.
I can't believe I'm about to say this,
Okay.
but I would rather see LeBron win ring number 5 because, one, it's good for the mothership's bottom line, right? As long as LeBron's in the playoffs, not that
That's
Steph,
true.
you know, being
They
in the
both
playoffs
are,
is a
though.
bad thing, but if LeBron gets to ring number 5 and we know that he is on hole 15, hole 16 of the back 9 of his career, well, if he gets 5, guess how many he's behind in MJ? Just 1. So the next couple of years, man, you talk about ring chasing. Does LeBron want to tie Mike in terms of rings won? Hell, yes, he does. So obviously, ring 5 gets him one step closer.
I'm over LeBron James. So I'd rather see Steph Curry
C-Dub said it.
win
C-Dub
ring
said
number
it.
5.
She said it.
Even though, as you mentioned, if it would be great for the mothership, we'd be talking about him for weeks to come. We'd be talking about him throughout the entirety
Imagine
of
Omar
the
on
off-season.
Instagram. That dude would be spazzing on Instagram, man. Just posting
know.
every 10 seconds.
I know. Okay, let's go to the next one. KD versus Giannis. Would you rather see KD win ring 3 or Giannis win ring number 2?
We've been up since 3 a.m. We've been up since 3 a.m.
Wendy, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Okay, so I love Milwaukee and I want him to do well, but I would love to see KD win 3 because, number 1, it would be ring number 1 for Phoenix, which is a great basketball town with great basketball fans. And for them to experience a title would be wonderful. And they deserve it, quite frankly, after what they've been through this last decade with their ownership. Secondly, I also am tired of people saying that Kevin Durant didn't win a legitimate ring or rode in the back of the bus. I completely and wholeheartedly disagree with that. I've gone on rants. You can find them on YouTube. And at least that would end that. So I with no disrespect to Milwaukee, I'd like to see Kevin and the Suns do it.
I love how Wendy and I are just like complete contrarians on most of these topics because this is a 100% personal choice that I would love to see Yanni Vowles win ring number 2. I mean, there are so many storylines going into this postseason. KD, of course, being one of them. Can AD shoulder the load? Meanwhile, Giannis and the Bucks in Milwaukee, they just keep motoring along. He's a likable, lovable superstar. He doesn't come out there. He's not in the media complaining about getting him extra help, or at least unbeknownst to me. So Giannis winning ring number 2 is something that I would love to see, because then we get championship Giannis. We got Giannis at Culver's ordering 50 cheeseburgers. We got Giannis at other Chick-fil-A ordering 500 sliders. Man, post-championship Giannis.
The place to go to Milwaukee is
goated.
Tops.
Tops?
Okay.
I've not been, but
Neither have I.
because they are my NBA Finals pick with the Nuggets, Wendy, when we're there together, I'll let you take me there.
You said it's a personal choice. What do you mean by that?
Because Giannis is one of my favorite players in the league.
Okay,
I mean, he's such a great guy.
I agree with
Not
Wendy.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is
Personally.
beautiful in June.
It is.
I went when it was freezing cold, and it wasn't a fan. But I agree with Wendy. I feel like, how beautiful would it be if KD was finally able to prove to the haters, because there's a lot of them, that he can do it on his own.
Phoenix
Giannis
not
doesn't
so
have
good in
haters.
June.
Yes,
Okay,
true.
Let's it's a nice place to go, and then maybe we can go to Wilbon's house.
Oh,
all right, let's go.
here we
Westbrook
go.
versus Harden. Who would you rather see win their first ring, G Money? You seem torn.
Ooh, this is a hard one. Can I defer to Wendy? Because I don't have my choice yet.
Okay, Wendy.
So
See,
I'm not a real fan of the way Russell Westbrook has conducted himself in
Yes.
the last few years. But I do respect the perseverance. And so I guess I would say Westbrook, although I kind of respect the way Harden has changed his game more. I'm not comfortable with this answer. Westbrook, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Wendy just hit us with the mute on a Zoom call. All right, I'll take the baton and I'll run with it because given that explanation, I was leaning towards this way anyway, Wendy, but give me James Harden. Because of the reasons you mentioned, he sort of adjusted his game, and now he is JoJo's assist guy. He's the one who's going to get you the rock. Point blank period. I mean, give me James Harden, man. He went from being the guy. This talk about him wanting to go back to Houston is kind of weird to me. But give me James Harden because I also like his cast of characters on that Philly team in JoJo. I think that's just good for the NBA brand, having Embiid get his first title. And I like those role players too. Tyrese Maxey. I like the way the Sixers are put together. So give me James Harden getting a ring.
I have an answer, and I want neither because.
Oh, that's mean, Christine.
I would have liked
Did you
neither.
see the face she just made? Looks like she just ate a lemon.
Damn.
I just say neither. Yeah, I just don't like, as you mentioned, how Westbrook has been acting lately. But like, I think like about Harden before too, and I'm just like, not really in the mood. Okay, let's go. Let's go over to the Knicks. Would you rather deal with the Knicks fans if they win a title or lose in the first round, Wendy?
Well, look, I've seen Knicks fans when they've lost. I've seen that pretty much my whole life. I've never seen Knicks fans when they win. That's your grandfather's story. So I don't necessarily think that it would happen this year. I don't know if this is the team to do it, but the league is a better place when the Knicks are good. They've basically not been good for 23 years. So I would sign up for a league where the Knicks are good. When I was a kid in the 90s, I remember Marv Albert, coming back from breaks with shots outside the Garden and, yes, we've got a shot here with Charles Oakley and all that stuff. I'd be signed up for afternoon games at the Garden on the weekends with Mike Breen on the call on national television for the next couple of years. I mean, I'm down for that. So, yeah, I mean, let's see a Knicks victory for a change.
It's good for business, and because we haven't seen it, I want to see it. I am intrigued. You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Now, Knicks, go get it done against the Cavaliers.
I feel like, I want to see it too. As you mentioned, we haven't seen this, and I'm in the city a lot, so I would love to see how the city is popping.
That's a clean
What'd you say, Wendy?
Get well soon, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah, that too, for sure. All right, guys, another New York team is playing just minutes away. Nets 76ers game one. We're getting you ready for it here. Take a look at this.
My life is a movie.
From Yaoundé, Cameroon, and the University of Kansas, Joel Embiid.
You better start trusting the process.
I always say that everything just happens so fast.
Is this the Tiger Game Series?
I don't want to hear about no process no more.
Philadelphia, for the fourth time in the last 5 years, goes out in the Eastern Conference semis.
I've been through a lot.
But you just gotta prove that you belong on this stage.
Going into this year, I've gone up to another level. But the only way I'll get respect is if I win a championship.
All right, now it's time for the main attraction as we get ready for Nets 76ers. As I mentioned just moments away, there's a lot of playoff action on ABC and ESPN. You can log into your cable provider if you're watching on the ESPN app. I know, we love the beef. Okay, so Brian, let's start with you. What are your biggest storylines that you're looking at going into this matchup?
Let's keep an eye on James Harden. After the All-Star break, he was really being bothered by that Achilles injury. Shut it down for a while. He was playing tremendous all-NBA level basketball through the middle of this season. The 76ers really got it going after the new year. And that Achilles slowed him down. And I know he got better and he came back, but he hasn't had quite the same acceleration. And look, anytime Harden plays in the playoffs, the spotlight's on him because of his spotty record. But I want to see how he moves, especially as he's just had this week off, to see if he's a little bit refreshed.
This doesn't feel like to me, and C-Dub and Wendy, tell me if I'm tripping, this doesn't feel like a 3-6 matchup in the Sixers and the Nets. This feels like a 2-9 matchup from what we've seen the 76ers and then what we know about the Nets, right? I mean, they basically had a fire sale and brought in all of these guys. And by the grace of whatever, they found themselves in the playoffs. And now it's like, okay, we know we're not going to stop Joel Embiid, but what can we do to contain the other guys? And I don't know, Winnie, that's kind of how I'm looking at things from the outside looking in. You know JoJo's going to get his. He's going to go for 30+. But can his cast of characters and a supporting cast, James Harden and the like, will they do enough to make quick work of the Nets?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. As you see there, the 76ers went 4-0 against the Nets this season. Now it's time to see who's built for everything, brought to you by the Xfinity 10G network. We're going to talk a little bit about Joel Embiid for this one. Because, as we know, the MVP candidate is a walking double-double, averaging a career-high 33.1 points per game and 10.2 rebounds per game. The Sixers' formula for success in the series and beyond begins and ends with the process. That's Joel Embiid. Brian, what do you like about Embiid's outlook in this matchup?
Well, first off, the Nets are maybe the ideal team for him to play in the East. They're just so thin on the interior, literally thin in terms of depth and physically thin. Nick Claxton's one of the better defenders in the East, but he just is going to have a difficult time handling Embiid. Now, Embiid plays differently this year than he has in years past. Instead of playing more on the block, they've moved him to catching the ball a lot around the foul line, and then he goes to work there, putting the ball on the floor, shooting, passing, distributing, which even forces Claxton away from the basket a little bit more. And the one thing the Nets have going for them is his shot blocking. So I think this is a perfect matchup for Joel. And I would almost say the most important thing for the 76ers, don't screw around. Because as a team that's had injury problems, Joel's had injury problems. One of the biggest things about Joel is, can he stay healthy for multiple rounds? Don't screw around. Bury the Nets early and often so you can avoid any of those problems.
I think this is the perfect storm, too, for some stuff that Joel said, not too long ago. I've not won an MVP, and I've not taken my team to the NBA Finals. Why are you guys putting so much pressure on me to do it? You got MVPs, you got two-time MVPs out there who haven't taken their teams to the NBA Finals. Well, be careful what you wish for, Joel Embiid, because right now you are one of 3 NBA MVP finalists, and by most accounts, you are the front runner. So if you get that MVP, and maybe you can't couple it with the 76ers with at least a trip to the NBA Finals, maybe that looks back on you. So I think it's a perfect storm brewing for JoJo to get it done.
I want to talk a little bit about this Brooklyn Nets team, because we know how the season started and what it looked like. It looked completely different than it currently looks. It was a whirlwind. Yeah, it's been very odd of a season. Brian, I'm going to start with you on this one. Can Brooklyn contend and make this an interesting series?
It's hard to see, but if it does, it's going to be on the back of Mikal Bridges, who has become what looks like a franchise player for them as part of that Kevin Durant trade. I mean, I always thought he had more to show than what he showed in Phoenix when he was basically a defender and a corner three-point shooter. He's been such a dynamic scorer since he's come to Brooklyn, and this is a great opportunity for him to show it. I mean, this is a Nets team that doesn't have a ton of playoff experience. Well, guess who does? Mikal Bridges. The guy's played a ton of playoff games. He's played in NBA Finals. So, they need Bridges to, kind of be their veteran leader. I know it's crazy to say he's in his 5th season, but they need him to kind of show the way today and, basically keep them in the game. If they're going to have a chance to win games 1 or 2 in Philly, they've just got to somehow stay in the game and let Philly maybe kick it to them at the end. Bridges is just going to have to score enough to give him a chance to take the game into the 4th quarter, and I think he can do it.
Christine, before I answer the question, just quick definition on your definition of competitive. Because listen, this game is going to be tied until it starts. And then I think, to Wendy's point, the 76ers, they're going to be running. They're going to be gunning. In my estimation, they'll make quick work of the Nets. You always get a gentleman's sweep when you might go home, little momentum swings your way. The Nets might get a game. I don't even see that happening. So competitive, no.
Okay, so Gary does not think that the Nets are going to win today. Brian Windhorst, do you?
No. No, I agree with Gary. I think maybe they pull one of these out. I never predict a sweep. I don't ever really make predictions that much, but I never assume a sweep. I always assume it's going to be 5, but you know what? There's sweeps every year.
Also, to point out, hell is frozen over because I actually made a basketball point that Brian Windhorst agreed with. I'm on cloud 9.
Okay,
I'm feeling good.
Do you think it's going to be a sweep, G-Money?
A gentleman's sweep.
Okay.
I do think the Nets get one at home.
Okay. So I'm going to just go on and say that the Nets. Dang it! I was going to say they're going to win one, so you just did too, but whatever. Okay.
You think they're going to win this opening
not
game?
This one. They're not going to start the series.
It starts in like a
with
minute.
But it's
Stand
going
by
to
your
be
convictions.
it's going to be a very interesting series. Let's just say
Indeed.
it's going to be fun. Enjoy watching all of the games today. Yes, it's like Christmas in the association. A lot of playoff games to watch. Thank you guys for watching Hoop Streams. If you're watching on the app, you can go on and log in to your cable provider and watch the games right here. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out. Later, Wendy.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye-bye.